few weeks later, well, given that you haven't engaged since and learnt a little more of the language, you've actually gone out of your way to say how are you in Japanese, alright? You've taken your time out to learn that, and then you surprise her and shock her and put another great big smile on her face by doing so. How attentive you are, how interesting you are, and how willing you are to go out of your way in order to show this person how much they mean to you. That's crazy, right? Let's just make up another example, alright? So, attention to detail. Making friends, finding common ground. They say opposites attract, and it does make sense to some degree, because there does need to be some tension in order to stimulate the push and pull of love between two people, and nobody is going to be 100% alike to the next, but a likeness debatably attracts more, you know? And let me just continue to re-clarify, you might be the most awkward person on earth, and I don't want you being Mr. Nice Guy, just going out of their way to like try and find someone ever so desperately. Just engage with someone and have a conversation, or, you know, say hello to someone and observe what they're wearing and so forth. And if there's anything you are into, like genuinely, if it speaks to you and your person and your character, comment on it. Don't say, oh, I like your shoes, when you don't care about their shoes. But if they have a pair of Doc Marten boots on, and you also have a pair of Doc Marten boots in your cupboard that you bought years ago, there you go. By default, you're already on some sort of common ground, because you have made a decision that reflects her character in your past. Bada bing, wow. Yeah, I like them Docs. They're a bit hard to wear in though, aren't they? Oh, yeah. I've only had these for 2 weeks, and you know what I mean? The back of my feet are killing. Yeah, I know that feeling. I had a pair of these back in the day. Are those? That's Oxblood red colour, isn't it? Right? Boom! You found common ground. Okay, and it's just about enhancing this and highlighting this and progressing onwards and taking the bait as it comes. And when it's thrown in your direction during these conversations. Now, don't get me wrong, some girls will shrug you off, some girls will have partners, and some girls just won't be interested in you. That's completely fine, that's life, right? But when you can talk with people, find something you are both interested in, and then just let her express herself, because she's not doing it with other people. Let's say, for example, she does have a partner, she could be married for all we care, right? But is she going back home and is her partner still giving her that time and attention you are now doing so? Maybe not. So be different, be attentive. You're not being Mr. Nice Guy. You're just being yourself. And yourself is someone she is incredibly compatible with. You're not talking about stuff you disagree on. You're not talking about divisive stuff. You're not talking about stuff... And like, even speaking about divisive stuff, when we just referenced opposites attracting, that's still fine, because you still are invested within the same topic, just at different sides of the spectrum. You're polarized. You're not going to mansplain, and you're not going to get emotional over, you know, stuff, over discussions and separation of opinions. But what you can do is use that as an excuse to have a little bit of a flirt and wind each other up a little bit and say blah-de-blah-de-blah. You know, but I guess that's a game in itself, you know. That's something else we need to have a talk about external to this, because I think you might need a little more technique with that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? If you have completely separate political views, it's going to take a little bit of thought in regards to having a laugh at her expense without it coming across as actually offensive when it comes to stuff like that, right? Some people just ignore it completely, but that means... You've spoken to her about her Doc Marten boots Found out that her feet have been killing regardless because she only went for a run the other day. Okay, brilliant. I'm into the gym. I'm into exercise. So I can now speak to her about exercise as well as the boots. You don't want to be turning up every single day going about, oh, them boots, right? Blah, 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 blah. But it was definitely a gateway into opening discussion, finding common ground, and then unlocking other facets of her character and personality that you align with. Wow. Wow, it's almost as if we were perfect, made for each other, because you're not talking about her boots, bypassing the exercise thing, and then saying, "Oh yeah, I'm." She asks, you know what I mean? You ask her, "What are you doing at the weekend?" "Oh, I'm doing a bit of running, blah 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 blah." "Are you doing anything interesting?" "Yeah, I'm reading loads of books, blah 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 blah." All right, she's already told you about her exercise and so on and so forth, and this and that. You could then say, yeah, I'm off to the gym myself, you know. I can only find time to do it at the weekend, so I just get in and out, you know what I mean? Do 45 minutes, but I train pretty well. I train pretty well. And, you know, let's have a think there. That's an insight to going out together, to training together, to getting some food after the gym together, right? You don't say, oh, yeah, you know, use it as an excuse to talk about some other bullshit and talk about yourself and stuff that don't apply. I'm off to read books. She might not read books. You're talking about reading now. She's thinking, you know, I'm not really interested in this. I'm not interested in talking about this. I'm not interested in talking to this person anymore. Where I was interested talking 5 minutes ago when we were talking about stuff I liked. That's a little bit of food for thought. I could go on and on and on about this. But there we go. That's one thing, right? Find something you're both interested in and talk about it. You know what I mean? She's interested in whatever she's interested in. She's chosen to turn up at this function wearing the outfit she's wearing with reason. She's wore those trousers. She's got up in the morning and dressed herself, okay? Do you like any of the bits of clothing she's wearing without being a creep? She got a pair of Levi's jeans on. You've got 5 pairs of Levi's jeans. It's the only jeans you wear. You know they cost a couple of quid. You know you can go to a charity shop and maybe pick them up a bit cheaper. And if you do so, you found a great steal. You found, you know what I mean? You've had good luck doing so. The possibilities are endless. Where do you go when, you know what I mean, you find an interest on Levi's jeans? Well, you know down the line, you know the perfect gift for this woman, right? You know she's into spending a couple quid more than maybe some people do on jeans. So she must be interested in fashion to some extent. Pay attention. Be attentive. Be a good listener. If you don't have anything in common, you don't have anything in common. That's fine. Imagine getting in a relationship with someone you've got nothing in common with. Imagine getting married to someone you've got nothing in common with. It's okay, leave it. That's fine, you can both go separate ways. She doesn't have to be the one. You like her aesthetic, you like the way she looks, that's about it. You don't necessarily gel with her character too much. And it doesn't have to be so literal as to what she's wearing or what she does on the weekend, right? She might have a sense of humour, and you might have a sense of humour. She might have a love for animals, you might have a love for animals. Okay? There definitely will be something you can hone in on, agree on, and then just agree to the end of time over. You've made friends, you've made a relationship. You might have made something more in due time. So if anything, we're spreading a little bit of magic. We're not being a seedy pickup artist. We're not doing these techniques where we have to hurt people's feelings. We don't have to do all of this. We're all humans and we like what makes us feel good. And we like what we don't get for elsewhere. Be a rare person. Feed them what they want. And in doing so, not only will you be making somebody happy, but it will come back to you in the form of a positive reflection. Alright, I'm signing out. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, people. Everyday superpower, one love.